Mawadium couple of folklore are those we Oscoilga we George Brown no short of the Brune. So according to Tommy Balahan shot the Gwina George Brown, but Onaid shot a Hishmahori, Francis Brown, August Mary Lackey. August Egderin na neo he shader, who gon verticor imaka with the unwrapping. Norvi Mary a gumper Clina le George, Honig she a ration shot go Inistioge, August is an shot a Rugach George Brown, Sabine Milanege is a shade. Togach in Manchester Agus Norvi she in a Ogar, where Boktanach Dogus Surachus na Carach Shin Ishtach Gomorer. Huig she I Bart le party Communicus na Bratana, agus rinne she a Hiach Nihil son Coswinter na Tira Shin. Nor a Dunsig Arm Franco, Realtus na Spana, sna Trocadi, ni nach hune gor listal she den a yoin fein san international brigade. Agus Maris old doing, Quidder con Bosse, agus Shint there and Talav, Gointe, I ga Brunette, I Miyul, Milaneged Trocasha. You're all very welcome to this, the third George Brown Commemorative Weekend. And it's fitting that in Inistioge, his birthplace, his memory should be kept alive and his sacrifice acknowledged. That this event is taking place is in no small way due to the determination of one person, the chairperson of our committee, Padraig O'Marachu. Over the years, Paddy was instrumental in organising commemorative celebrations, and not surprisingly, as the 70th anniversary of George Brown's death approached, Paddy called on the people in the area to make a special effort. And out of this initiative was formed the George Brown Memorial Committee. Its first project was the establishment in 2007 of the Olive Grove in Woodstock Gardens in memory of the 4 Kilkenny men who served with the International Brigade. The following June will forever be associated with the inaugural George Brown Weekend, a truly historic event in which Jack Jones, the most influential British trade union leader in the latter half of the 20th century, along with Bob Doyle, both of whom had served in the International Brigade. And we were graced with their presence here on that day. Sadly, by the following year's celebrations, both had passed away. The scope of the 2009 commemoration broadened, and besides dealing with the Spanish Civil War and the role of the fascist powers of Italy and Germany, the Cuban ambassador to Ireland, Noel Carrillo, enlightened us with a detailed account of that country's struggles and achievements in the face of aggressive American imperialism. In keeping with the theme of a nation's struggle in the face of outside belligerence and aggression, this year's Friday session deals with the Palestinian question and the ongoing efforts by its people and international support groups for basic rights, both humanitarian and political, which we take for granted. To deal with this issue, we're delighted to welcome to Inistioge this evening Kilkenny man Mick Lanigan, who is the chairperson of Irish Medical Aid for Palestine, the Palestinian ambassador Dr. Hikmat Juri, and Senator David Norris. A number of individuals and organisations have been very loyal to the George Brown Weekend. Foremost among these has been Harry Owens, Spanish Civil War historian, whose lectures have always been both enthralling and enlightening, and we are glad to welcome him back among us this year. Various sections of the trade union movement at both national and branch level have also been very supportive, and we will be delighted to welcome Jimmy Kelly, Irish Secretary of Unite, here this evening, and we will be joined by Jack O'Connor, President of SIPTU, tomorrow morning, when they will both speak on the legacy of George Brown from the trade union perspective. During the past year, 2 other prominent union officials have retired, Manus O'Riordan and Sean Kelly, and I would like to acknowledge their support for and commitment to the George Brown Weekend. A number of other individuals in a private capacity have not been found wanting when asked for support. And I must also pay a special word of thanks to the Church of Ireland community in Inistioge for allowing us the use of their place of worship as our lecture venue. And indeed, it is a great pleasure to have amongst us this evening the Rector, J.P. Kavanagh. As well as tonight's lectures on the Palestinian question, we also mark the 100th anniversary of the celebration of International Women's Day. For organising this aspect of our celebrations, we're indebted to Amanda Richards, a member of our committee. Tomorrow morning, as I've already mentioned, the George Brown lecture deals with his legacy. This will be followed with a lecture by Harry Owens dealing with the aftermath of the Spanish Civil War. While the history books may very well record that it ended in 1939, for those who had to endure the Franco dictatorship for another 40 years, this date was purely academic. Following the format then of previous years, we move on to the Olive Grove and Woodstock Gardens for a tree planting ceremony. This year, 2 specimen trees will be planted. A purple cutleaf beech by Pádraig O'Morocú in the presence of Jimmy Kelly and Jack O'Connor, and a blue atlas cedar to mark the visit of Dr. Hikmat Ajuri by Senator David Norris and Mick Lanigan. Afterwards, refreshments will be served in Lenihan's Bar in the village, and you're all invited, and entertainment will be provided by the Graignamanagh Brass Band. Now, I've already acknowledged the contribution of individuals and organisations to the success of this venture. Much of this help has indeed been financial, but these contributions do not cover the entire cost, and each year we give an opportunity to the public to help out. And I'd like to thank you for your generosity to date. In 2008, a commemorative booklet was on sale. In 2009, a DVD. This year we have brought out a souvenir brochure and invite you to make a donation towards the running of the weekend, if taking a copy of the same. Likewise, tomorrow, while everyone is welcome to the buffet in Lenihan's, you are again invited to make a contribution to help defray costs. Now, our weekend begins with a wreath-laying ceremony here at the George Brown plaque, unveiled by Jack Jones, as you can see from the inscription, in June 2008. And we're fortunate, indeed honoured, to have still living in this community relatives of George Brown. And on this occasion, I call on his cousin Tom Knox to perform this duty and to open officially the George Brown weekend of 2010.